Comics of 100 Years Ago, August 26th, 1924. It's Little Orphan Annie by Harold Gray. Annie is in her small sleeveless shirt with tie. Well, sort of sleeveless shirt. Very, very short sleeves. And she's got on what looks like her patent leather shoes. She is speaking to Mrs. Warbucks, who has got her feet up, still in high-heeled shoes, for no reason that I could understand. Mrs. Warbucks has her book in her lap. Looks like she's eating candy out of a candy dish. Her feet are up on a poof. She's got a little tiny library there and a lamp next to her. And Annie says to Mrs. Warbucks, "May I go over and see Miss Fair this afternoon?" Mrs. Warbucks says, "The idea! Miss Fair doesn't want to see you. Why, her forefathers came over on the Mayflower. She's very aristocratic. Why should she care to see you?" Annie says, "But when she was here the other day, she said I should come over and see her any time." Mrs. Warbucks leans back in her chair and laughs. Dropping her book on the floor, she says, "Ha, ha, ha. That's rich. When you've seen a little more of society, you'll realize that doesn't mean anything." And now Annie is curled up on a sofa, crying, holding a handkerchief to her face, saying, "I don't care what Mrs. Warbucks says. I think Miss Fair meant every word she said. She's not mean. She wouldn't fool me that way. She's the first person I ever knew who didn't remind me that I'm just an orphan."